determine the appropriate size of a control transformer for a control circuit that includes two 3-phase 40 kilowatt heaters and a 15 horsepower motor with a total current draw of approximately 130 amps, a series of calculations must be performed. The first step involves calculating the total volt-amperes, often abbreviated as VA. This calculation considers the voltage and current in the circuit, as well as a factor that accounts for the three-phase nature of the system. The formula for calculating volt-amperes in a three-phase system is volt-amperes equals voltage multiplied by current, then multiplied by the square root of 3. Assuming a voltage of 480 volts, the volt-amperes can be calculated as follows: volt-amperes equals 480 volts multiplied by 130 amps, then multiplied by the square root of 3. This calculation yields an approximate value of 103 kilowatts. Secondly, once the total volt-amperes have been calculated, the next step is to determine the appropriate transformer kilovolt-amperes, often abbreviated as kVA. The transformer kVA should be slightly larger than the calculated volt-amperes to account for losses within the transformer and to provide capacity for future expansion of the circuit. A common rule of thumb is to add 25 to 30% to the calculated volt-amperes to determine the appropriate transformer kVA. This can be expressed as kVA equals volt-amperes multiplied by 1 plus 25 to 30%. Using the previously calculated volt-amperes of 103 kilowatts, the transformer kVA can be calculated as follows: kVA equals 103 kilowatts multiplied by 1.25, which yields an approximate value of 129 kVA. Thirdly, based on the calculated kVA requirement, an appropriate transformer size can be selected. In this case, transformer sizes of 125 kVA or 150 kVA would be suitable. Considering the need for additional headroom for future expansion or load changes, a 150 kVA transformer is recommended for this application. This size transformer would provide sufficient capacity for the control circuit, ensuring reliable operation and accommodating potential future modifications to the circuit. Therefore, for this application, a 150 kVA transformer is recommended to provide sufficient capacity for the control circuit, leaving additional headroom for future expansion or load changes.